Hey everyone, welcome to our weekly live video here on the Facebook page. This is your host, Demi Bernice. If you need any more introduction, if you need to know more my name still. This night, I am so ecstatic to have a guest with me. She's one of the members of the CRA community. I'm going to talk more about her later. But before we dive into that, I'd also like to announce to you guys that if you are very much interested in enrolling to Create and Rise Academy, is that my cat? My cat? Yeah. Intermission number. So, if you are very much interested in enrolling to Create and Rise Academy, also, we are opening the doors on March 1st. That is 1 week exactly from now. That is next Monday. And if you are interested, if you have questions about it, you can definitely reach us on the Facebook page or via email. Other than that, you can wait if we're going to be posting the link about the course page in the Facebook page. So if you want more details in advance, you can message us. And if you are definitely already decided to enroll, then of course you can just wait for the link when it's open, and then we can start, or you can start going through the information and see if Create and Rise Academy is for you. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce one of my closest friends that I've met in Create and Rise Academy. So I'm super glad that the community that I have founded have actually gathered me a bunch of friends, and we met once in a community meetup. So in CRA, we also do a bunch of meetups. So apparently we can't do that now because of coronavirus. But we did that back in the day, and that was when everything started with us. Charot, parang mag-jowa lang. And I'm super happy that she's part of my circle of friends, and at the same time she was able to get her 100K a month, which is the finish line of CRA as well. So without further ado, please help me welcome Phoenicia versus Nishi.
Hi everybody,
Uh,
good evening. Shut up.
so please bear with us. This is not going to be a very formal interview, no, especially with us. We're super close friends, and we have a bunch of secrets already laid out with each other. So please do not expect this to be extremely formal. I'll just be asking her a bunch of questions, and I'm also very curious as well because although I know a little bit about her story, I haven't really gotten to dive deeper into what she really is about, especially her being a licensed architect. So, Nishi, my friend, can you tell
Yeah.
us first? Can you tell us first the story of how you went from being an architect to a freelancer? So, take us back a little bit down on memory lane. How did you become an architect, and then somehow down the line you chose to become a freelancer?
Okay, architecture was already like my go-to career na no, before I even started because I came from a family with a very strong engineering background. So architecture was really something that I chose as my career path back then. But then, I got my license when was it? Back in 2017. So I was 20 something. Never mind na lang the age. um, uh, yeah, 2017, and then I went into the corporate world. I had a corporate. I was part of a boutique architectural firm. A boutique architectural firm. It's a design and project management firm. So I led a team, and but then somewhere mga 2018, 2019, I was I started to pursue a different career. So that I juggled that both with architecture and that certain career path, and it wasn't freelancing back then. So it was just not until August that I decided to resign from my 9 to 5 job because I was lost. I was happy, but I wasn't, I think, feeling. So I was broke at that time because uh, I kept on pursuing that different career path, and then nothing was really happening. And then it took me like a year now, and then nothing was really happening. And I decided to just go back home with nothing in my bank. I was in debt. I was really broke, and going home was like my last resort. No. So, savings ko doon. And it was October, I think, that I started to see your videos. I started to and it was like it was a video of you, like you were in a balcony, I think, and then overlooking the beach. So sabi ko, who's this girl? I'm like, she's so young. Why is she claiming that she's earning 100K a month and everything as a freelancer? And then that caught my attention because I started freelancing college. I thought that was freelancing, no, but it turns out home-based employee lang pala ako that was working online. So it was through a a freelance platform. So I said, no, this isn't possible. Kasi I know yung mga, I mean, like your rates, and I don't think this is real. Or something. So, yun, I got curious kasi, yun nga, I was earning like $2 per hour lang back then during that freelancing job. So sabi ko, what's her story? Sabi ko, what's her story? Kasi I know it's parang hindi siya possible. So, yun, I started to binge watch your video. Tapos paano pa ako nun, pa-live, ano ba, lurker lang ako sa mga live videos mo dati. And then, that went on for like a month. And then, I was really hooked. Because you were saying, you were giving a lot of value na to your videos. So, and you were making sense when everything was not making sense for me.
Aww.
Parang siya, girl, parang a light in shining armor, ganon. Tapos, yun, I like November na, nag-open yung enrollment. So that time, I was still not earning anything. Although I have a side gig naman, it was like a web design project for my previous employer. That big to cover my debt. So, sabi ko lang akong pera, tapos hindi ko pa tapos yung project. So like, I don't have any cash talaga on my hand. So, sabi ko, may kumta ako ulit. So, I didn't know what I knew that I really wanted to enroll in your academy. So sabi ko sa sarili ko, I really had to find a way how. Trusted nag-borrow ako ng pang-enrollment fee. Tapos sabi ko, dami ko ng utang, pero I know that I'm going to repay this. Knew it, Tapos yun, I was able to enroll November, batch Charlie, kaway-kaway, so mga batch Charlie dyan. So I was able to enroll. Tapos, na-shock ako kasi lesson 1 pa lang, girl, madugo na siya. Madugo yung module 1. It was lesson 1 pa lang, pero parang grabe, sobrang eye-opener na. Sabi ko, wow, parang sabi ko, wow, I think this game change is really going to make a difference in my life. So, but then, nagkaan ako ulit, I was like, I was being impatient ulit. I think I need to go back to my employer kasi wala akong money and I really want to start paying my debts. And then sabi ko na that this freelancing isn't like, it doesn't happen overnight. So I knew back then that it's gonna take me a while talaga to know what I want, to ano ba talaga yung service na gusto ko. So I decided to like juggle na lang my 9 to 5 and the CRA, kumbaga. So yun, after December 2019 until March 2020, so nag-lockdown na. So, ayun, nag-lockdown na, nasa bahay lang ako. Even though we were working from home, after weeks din kasi, the firm that I was working at had to temporarily close their operation. So, yun, I was left again with savings kasi yung mga kita ko parang I was like, binabayad ko na siya sa utang ko. So, had no savings man ulit. I was like, oh my gosh, paano to? Good thing na lang din. I think that was also that time you approach and then you gave me this opportunity to work with you.
Ah,
Yun,
the
yun,
modules. Oo.
the module.
When was the last time that I...
Yun.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, sige. Tapos,
So, yun, I think that was the start of me really having, like, transitioning from a full-time architect, freelance web and funnel designer. Yun.
so I'd like to go back a little bit no with when you were in debt and you did not have anything, you still got to more debt para lang to be able to enroll to CRA. Should I already
Hindi ko siya
cry
inaano ha.
now or or what?
Hindi ko siya
But that
na-encourage ha.
is yeah, so it's not encouraged to go in that, guys, just to enroll. But it's just no, hearing these stories. But it's not the first time that I heard someone that they really got in that in order to enroll to CRA. And while a lot of people are asking for CRA to be free, like, uy, Demi, you should probably get people in free, ganon, ganon. And then there are really other people na they really are willing to risk everything just to join. And that just makes my heart went, oops, charot. It's just very heartwarming. And, yeah, it makes me happy to hear that kind of story. So, moving forward, we already know that you were an architect and that you had the experience and then all that kind of stuff. So if given the question, architecture or freelancing, which one holds more weight in your heart? Char! Torn between two
Nako,
lovers.
may
Next.
issue tayo nito. So,
Sige.
it really is a tough question for me kasi I believe naman na the skills that I'm using as a web and funnel designer right now, it's something that architecture with. It's something that I learned in architecture did. So I can't just like disregard an architecture and not give thanks to architecture or something just to like be successful in freelancing. So both have their pros and cons, diba? So, but if we look at the siguro lifestyle
Mm.
that I my 9 to 5 job as an architect versus now as a freelancer, malaki talaga yung difference niya. I mean, architects naman kasi can work as freelancers din in architecture, pero everything is just much better with you as a freelance kasi. So if you wanted to have more freedom in income, you go to freelancing. For me.
Yeah, it's true. I remember, have you seen one of the mentees post recently, Rebecca?
Uh,
Yeah, she was also torn between being a teacher and being a freelancer. And then I commented about, like, how is it that you're torn between being a teacher and being a freelancer? Like, in my case, when I quit my kindergarten teaching job, it was never there were no oppositions. So I think that you being torn between architecture and freelancing, or teaching or freelancing, it's actually a God-given blessing because you have a bunch of options, right? So if there, knock on wood, it's not going to happen, but if there are any cases that you feel like freelancing is not for you, then you can always go back to architecture. And then if you feel like architecture is not really working well right now, like Like, say, for example, you mentioned how your firm closed down. So you can always go, like, you really have a bunch of options. And I feel like that's a God given blessing. So, moving forward, what is it that you'd like about freelancing that you cannot do in architecture? So you have given thanks to architecture. Now let's try to dissect that a little. And what is that few things, one or two or more, that you can do in freelancing that you cannot do in architecture?
Definitely firing toxic clients. Joke! Kidding.
Sige, tell me
Kidding.
more.
So really, kasi if you're an architect, di ba, employed in a firm, so you're an employee now. You can't files, you're not the boss, di ba? You can end a contract with a toxic client because you're not the boss. So even if you work closely with that client and you know exactly how like they're working, how they work with you and all of the stuff, those stuff, hindi wala kang magagawa kumbaga. Because again, you're not the boss. But if you're doing freelancing, boss, so you get to call the shots, di ba? Char.
Yes,
So yun,
okay.
so that's one siguro, that's one. And basically all work environment like and lifestyle siguro. Kasi I can work whenever I want, wherever I want, just as long as I have internet connection, di ba? And I set my own deadlines. I get to choose who I want to work with. And mostly siguro I save time and money. Transportation. I'm not sure with everybody ha, pero when I was in my corporate job kasi I remember I had to kasi I've been through a different firms din. So I've also worked and I remember there was time like I had to spend 3 to 5 hours lang for transportation to commute from work to from home. So for me, it was just like a waste of effort and time to do that. Like imagine how many things you could do in that span of time. So yun, nasayangan ako at shake, grabe. I can't. So yeah, I'm just really happy that I'm able to save time and effort with freelancing. Yung
Yawn. Grabe, 3 to 5 hours. And I thought my story of going back and forth in commute of 2 hours is already crazy. And then here you are saying 3 to 5 hours. So, okay. Sa'yo na ang corona. Okay. Where am I? Ano yung mga list of questions? Okay, so moving forward to our next question. What was your first reaction when you reached 100K a month? So this one is a little tricky because there are so many people that would say na, like you have already reached 100K a month and everything seems fine and easy. They don't see the hardships basically that you have done prior to hitting 100K a month. So when you have done that, what was your first reaction?
matagal siya nag-sink in. I can't believe it kasi when I started getting pays, mga 85% nun, binabayad ko na sa debt ko. So, alam mo, like, I did not really, like, see it first time na, boom, 100K, gano'n. So, second 100K na, dun ko na na-realize na parang, wow! Talaga ba? 6 figures to? Akin ba to? So, hindi ko siya in-expect talaga. I mean, I'm not really aiming for it, but it was surreal at that time. So, kasi parang pangarap ko lang a month, ganun. Just sa corporate world, if hanapin mo yung 50K a month, siguro dapat mataas na yung rango mo. And, yun lang, parang it was very, kasi parang, yes Lord, ito na talaga siya. Ganun.
And I remember, I'm not sure if we are allowed to share this, but one of the things that you mentioned inside the group when you posted your win report is that it wasn't only once that you hit 100K a month. It wasn't also only twice, but are you willing to share how many times were you able to hit 100K a month?
Hindi siya pwede. Joke. Ano na lang, Naya, how much you earning nanonood? Joke. Ano, basta hindi siya twice landed. But it wasn't that way, no. Like in a span of a month that time, I think it was July. Yun yung, partly like siguro every week na I was constantly hitting high ticket projects. Ganun. Pero not all of them pushed through. So I also had my rejections, guy. In a silver platter or something. It wasn't like that. A lot of challenges talaga, a lot of kapalan ng mukha, ganon. Marami akong challenges din that led me to like that constant 100K a month. So it wasn't like in a snap lang.
That's true. I remember when we started working together also, I think one of the things that I could remember was that you mentioned that you were already busy. So you were telling me na I'm afraid I have to parang decline creating or designing the PowerPoint presentations kasi you were so busy, which I truly understood where you were coming from. And I think I haven't told you this, but I was extremely proud that you were able to tell me that regardless if we were friends, regardless if you were considered as my student and I'm kind of like your mentor, you really were able to say that to me. And that only goes to show how like the big of the lengths that you can go if you really want to choose to work with somebody. So that was actually really good work. I did not have hard feelings on that also. Just so you know, it was completely fine. And I also appreciate your honesty on that. So there. Apart from that, can you also share? This is a lot of one of the questions that people would always ask is how exactly did you get 100K a month, or what are the steps that you took?
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to divulge, but in a nutshell, siguro, I follow what you taught us, CRA. So basically, well, I enrolled. No matter what back then. I decided to put my 101% commitment and attention. Even though I was like sort of a late bloomer kasi nga, di ba, hindi ako CRA. And I know, I decided to become a beginner again. Kasi,
Yeah.
and this one is kasi for someone who is already leading a team and had a stable 9 to 5 job, or it was hard for me to imagine back then na I'd start from zero. Na I'd have to learn a new skill or, just to become a newbie again. So, especially that it was not RT related of some sort. So, yun, I decided I told myself na okay lang na maging beginner ulit. And I had to unlearn some of it to learn the right things. So, yun. And I also destroyed destroyed talaga, no? My limiting beliefs, no, na I cannot. Kasi, yun lang yun. Sometimes kasi it's just us na nagsistop sa ating self. Sure, di ba? Hindi siya char,
That's
totoo siya.
true. That's true. I highly agree. And then you also mentioned, backtracking a little, you mentioned about the things that you learned and unlearned. So going to the next question, how did you consider yourself to get that 100K a month? And then what are your, so for example, what are your habits, your mantra, if you have anything, if you had affirmations, what were the things that were going inside your head at that time when you were really wanting to get 100K?
Ano kasi siya, Dem? I think the time that I started freelancing, I think it was my lowest point in my life yet. No? So I'm the type of person kasi like if I want something, I'm gonna do everything that I can. Or yun siya or something, no? Everything in my power, ganun. Tapos, so you could only imagine the frustration that I got back then, constant rejection, constant frustrated pa rin kasi ako before. So like, I was overwhelmed and all of those stuff. So, siguro, the parang point na, parang, yun na yung turning point talaga is when I decided to surrender everything to God. No, I know this might not be for everybody, but it is. But, I was too focused on myself that parang I forgot about His presence. Like I forgot to trust Him more than I trust myself. So it was really something na parang nagkapagmulat mata sa akin na I can't do this alone. I need to anchor my life into something that is, unchangeable and constant. So when I started to my walk with in my faith, that was when everything started to pour na actually. So I had a operation wall ko siya dati. Tapos I had post-its on it. And then one of the post-its there was I wrote a Bible verse from Romans 8. It says na I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing to the glory that will be revealed in us. So parang that was my constant reminder na facing with trials right now, it's temporary. Like I should focus on the end result. I should focus on the promise that he's given me. Ganun. So yun, I have affirmations na I have in my wall, mga par inspiration wall ko siya. And then meron din like I'd write something like just breathe, or to remind myself na whenever mo mga rejections and everything, I'd remind myself na take everything one step at a time lang, ganun, hindi masyadong, kasi mag-burnout tayo eh, if we try to do everything at once. Kailangan natin ng breather, kumbaga. So yun, I also, ano pa ba? I tried to, and I changed my laptop wallpaper pala. Na it was parang siyang point of view of a person sitting in the front seat of a car. Tapos may hawak siyang mapa. Tapos parang nagro-road trip. Siya ganun. I'd see laptop, I'd see that photo. Para siyang constant reminder of my long-term goals. Ganun. Tapos, yun, I also keep track progress and my tasks, to-do list in a journal. So like I'd wake up, I'd start with a prayer, and then I'd open my journal. Tapos nakasulat na din ko ano yung mga to-do list ko. Like for day, for that week, for that month. So that I get to track lang of everything and monitor everything. So yun, parang habit tracker siya. Tapos, having a great mentor like you. I also kasi, di ba sa CRA, we had, have accountability buddies. So yun, I have my accountability buddies. Hi, Gigi and editing teacher.
Yeah, they are
so
watching right now.
Hello. So yun, they were also one of the people who helped me in my freelancing journey. So like every day we try to check each other. Like what's your challenges? Ano ba yung sinukait mo ngayon? Mga ilang ka na? How far are you with your income goal? Ganun, parang mag-shota. Ganun siya nun. So, yun. Umabot na rin nga sa love life yung mga topics namin nila sa freelancing.
Yes,
So,
of course. So, considering that you went from architecture to freelancing, I know that a bunch of your colleagues are also architects, right? So they're usually in the same field as you. I wonder what are their first reactions. So when they started finding out that you were doing freelancing and then you started posting about your brand name, which is VIP Design Lab. What were the common reactions, or like the people in the comments on your Facebook post, for example, like what were the usual things that were going around on the internet when they started seeing you doing that?
When I started freelancing kasi I was very low-key. Gumawa pa ako ng separate account kasi just honestly, kasi nga, yun nga, parang people kasi had this misconception of freelancing as an online job lang. Yun. It's not stable. Ganun. Yun yung parang So, I was very careful of sino yung i-add ko dun sa Facebook ko. So, they really did not know. Pero ngayon, alam na nila. So, they were very supportive naman. Actually, they were curious na when I told them about freelancing and then about this academy. No? Sabi ko, kasi nga, may colleagues na rin ako who are doing freelancing as architects. But then, may mga hiccups pa rin along the way. Like, they're not really stable din, gano'n. So, when me, na-intrigue sila. And as a matter of fact, I have two archi friends who are in their academy din. So, yun, they were very supportive naman. Tapos parang ako lang pala yung nag-overthink.
That's true. Common reaction is when you have friends that would think badly of you when you start posting your freelance. I used to have that same feeling also, so I can definitely relate. How about your family naman? Like, did they know that you are currently earning what you are earning? You know, does your dogs know that? Does Yeka know that you are earning that much? And you can start giving her better food, dog food.
um, my fam, I'm not sure if they're watching, but hi. At first, they did not really understand what exactly freelancer. Apparently they had this understanding na I work online. Ganun. But then, but when I explained to them that this is what I do, I'm a brand, web content designer, out of those details, they were very supportive naman. Especially when they saw na I was enjoying what I do. Not that I did not enjoy what I 9 to 5 ko ha, but siguro mas nakita na nila na I'm more relaxed now and that I get to have more free time with them. So, they're very happy. Yun siya.
That's really nice. So, we're almost to the end of this interview, and there are only a couple few questions that's left. Can I ask what is the next thing for you? So you now have a stable earning income in freelancing. You have already earned more than you ever thought is possible. So what's next for you? What's next for Phoenicia Verside?
Complete name. I'm going to scale up the IT design lab, and I'm hoping to fuse architectural services din. Pero siguro that would be our mga 6 years from now siguro. Kasi na architecture will always be in my heart. And I know I'm going to pursue something that is related to architecture pa din. So, yeah. But for now, I need to launch a course that's going to help fellow designers then to close high-ticket projects. And I'm already in the I'm already in the process of finalizing. So yeah, hopefully within a month or two from now, I'm able to launch it. And this is also thanks to you and though.
Thanks to me and Bo with action. That's so funny. I don't know if Bo is watching right now. I don't think so. Syempre, you know. You and me know. We have secrets. So there, speaking of what's next for Phoenicia, I'll be commenting her links also down in the comment section if you wish to be connecting with her also, and if you want to know more about her. So I am putting her links in the comments. So two more final questions, second to the last. What advice can you tell people who wishes to push through freelancing and wanting to reach 100K a month as well? So what are the things that you want to tell these people?
Take that leap of faith. As in, if you're looking for a sign, guys, eto na siya. Binibigay ko ng sign sa inyo.
Yeah.
If I could, myself, like from 2 years ago, siguro papagalitan ko yung self ko. Kasi ang dami kong excuses dati. Ang dami kong excuses talaga that time. Tapos, and then I could also see naman kasi who's commenting in Demi's page, lurker lang. Ang daming nagsasabi na kaya siya may day job para sila or hindi nila alam sa magsimula, they can start freelancing. Guys, it's just an excuse. Excuses are dyan, and then, I don't know, just stop saying that you can't and start saying you will hit the 100K
Yeah.
a month as a freelancer, no? Kasi sometimes, it's just us making excuses, and then it's just us limiting ourselves from the life, diba? So, mag-reflect kayo, guys. And ask yourself, like, how much, or like, how badly do you want this? Or like, how badly do you want to provide for your family? How break from that toxic work environment or whatnot, diba? So, yun, take that leap of faith. Push mo na, girl.
Push the
Yeah.
girls and boys, children of all ages. So, last question. What advice can you tell people who are both passionate with their degree or license, who also wants to pursue freelancing, and they are currently torn? So, it happens a lot wherein there are people who are definitely in love with their degrees. I know so many people, like one of our CRA members, Rebecca, who's also currently the project manager of CRA. She was also torn back in the day, wherein she was choosing between teaching and freelancing. You were also in the same situation wherein you were also torn between architecture and freelancing. What are the things that you can tell these people who are currently torn with their degrees and then their current employment jobs, and they also want to pursue freelancing? Do they really need to choose, right? Do they need to ask sign from God, stuff like that? So if you can touch a little bit on that.
I know, I understand that for now you might have a lot of questions, just like I did back in the day. And you might, see freelancing all, but you might also wonder siguro why others are successful at it, diba? So, I know naman a lot of freelancers are practicing professionals din. So, like, we can also practice, freelancing as architects, but how come, not are reaching 100K a month, diba? So, there's really something in freelancing that you can't earn a 9 to 5 job. But the question siguro is like, how are you able to get that? So, yun nga, the academy will help you. Wala
Ah,
lang
char.
paligoy pa. Academy will help you.
Promote.
um, don't be afraid to let go of your profession. Kasi, it doesn't mean naman talaga when you do freelance, let go mo na siya or something. Just like I said, in some circumstance, you don't really have to choose between your profession and freelancing, di ba? Kasi pwede mo namang in-niche yung, yung profession mo as a freelancer. Uh, yun, so check in with your degree or ano ba, if you could do freelancing with it. Kasi, yun na nga, for us architects, we can practice naman. So we don't, yun lang, we just need like a mentor talaga. Kasi trust me guys, I've been that person na parang, alam mo yun, like mag-pride, like ayaw ng mga courses, DIY lang, ganun. So, yun nga, it came to a point na hindi ko na alam yung ginagawa ko. So, the CRA really helped me a lot to gain clarity and, yun, to snacks. Yun.
So also, I'd like to add to that, no, to the people who are currently torn between their degrees and freelancing. Like, if you say, for example, fusion is actually nice, like what Nisha is talking about. Now you can fuse freelancing and your current degree, but if it doesn't happen that way, and you for some reason can really, like you really needed the amount of money that you're earning in freelancing for something, like what Nisha said, be okay with being a beginner and discarding all the things that you have learned in your degree and actually start all over again. Like if you really want the things that freelancing can endow to you and you are very much willing to sacrifice, be also willing to be a beginner and like try to, not really forget, but at least put your degree muna in the back burner because you need to provide for your family, you need to provide for yourself and stuff like that. Like there's nothing wrong with it at all. Worst case scenario, you can always go back to your degree, diba? If it doesn't work out for you. But I would say na be always willing to be a beginner. So there you have it, guys. We're going to be spending at least 5 minutes lang for the question and answer portion. If you have questions for Nisha, we are opening the comment section for it. And again, if you wish to follow her as well, the links or her links in terms of website, Facebook, IG, Pinterest, and LinkedIn is already in the comment section. We have one question here from Jira May. Are you licensed na daw?
Yes, I got my license 17 and kaka-renew ko lang siya actually.
Okay, so she is licensed since 2017 and kaka-renew lang. Girl, ako, walay renew dyan. Solid na like wala nang no more turning back. This is going to be the career. I'll just be in the videos and all. No. Wala na renew dyan. PRC. PRC, sorry. Okay, so we have here one question from, is this Gigi? Gigi Gabisay. How was the transition daw from architecture to freelancing? How was it?
It was tough at first kasi um I was trying to like find pa my that time when I still had to juggle my 9 to 5. But eventually, the good thing kasi that I chose a niche that is also so it was not really that far from architecture because like in architecture, diba, we study the uh, spaces for the users. So in my current niche then, which is web design, it's more of user experience then. So I was able to apply then the principles, ganon. It was, I wouldn't say it was really smooth kasi yun na nga, COVID happened, so I had a debt. So, but there was a lot of things was going on. But because of the academy, like streamlined their modules, it was okay siya. I mean, like, nakahelp din talaga siya sa pag-transition.
Ayan. So, I hope your question was answered, Gigi. We have another one from Maria Eileen. I forgot to ask this question, no? I was gonna ask this question. How long did it take for you to reach 100K per month after enrolling?
Like, um, because I was not able to start agad-agad. Like, I enrolled na and then I had like a downtime from December. Nung June na ako nag-start mag-hit 100K. So
So,
that's like about a year.
half a year, so within 6 months. So also to add lang,
Yeah.
no, how many months would it take for a person to hit 100K a month? It really depends. So like Nisha, for example, she had downtimes. There are people that are hitting 100K a month in 2 months. There are also people that are not hitting 100K at all. Like I'm super transparent and I'll tell you that they have enrolled and they have not hit 100K a month. And that has nothing to do with like the course in itself or something. It really depends on the person. Like I would always say this again and again na parang my cat is Oy. Oy, Jai. Jai, dog na Jai. Um, I would always say this also na parang I can only do so much as a mentor, and if you really are wanting to do this, it's really up to the person to use the resources and open the modules and watch them. So yun, iba-iba ang timeline, and there are also people who are not getting it at all. So it's just the reason why I'm having Nisha here also is to show to you that there are people that are getting it, and what's the reason of them getting it? It's usually their consistency. And Nisha had downtimes, but she still pushed through. She had rejection, she still pushed through. So it really depends on the person. Ayan. We have one who is also an architect pala. So, Bernalea Alibuyog is saying that she just got her license this 2020. How do you manage your time as a freelancer and as an architect? Because I also want to try other methods to earn more money, though I'm a freelance architect right now.
So like I said, no, I when I started freelancing, that was like almost new, and then I wasn't looking for clients by that time because I did not binge watch the whole lessons. No, I was taking one lesson at a time and then apply it. I wouldn't really, because architecture, being an architect is really heavy. Like you have a lot of things to attend to. So it's very important. It's going to be hard, but um, it's all worth it. You should you should really allot time in freelancing. Like because imagine if I did not really give my 101% commitment and attention to learning the modules, maybe I would still be in that same dilemma pa siguro. So I started when I started to look for clients na I wasn't already practicing as an architect because I already focused na on the modules.
I see. So you really need to allot time in freelancing. So that's a good one. Alexa Mara is asking, do you do the coding for the web or funnel designs that you do? And if yes, what do you use? Do you use ClickFunnels, Kajabi, WordPress, or etc.?
I don't do the coding. There's a lot of site builders out there actually that you could use. Because if I were to dig deeper pa into coding, because that's another niche naman din kasi. So if I were to do that, it's going to take a lot of time for me, and I don't think that have that as a hindrance for me to offer web design services na. So I don't do coding. Siguro maybe little lang mga copy paste. Kasi meron naman kasi available din. If you really want a design, you could do that. And what do I use? I use Wix, Squarespace, and Show It for. I'm trying to learn. Yeah, for web designs, and then for funnels, I use ClickFunnels and Kajabi.
Ayan. So there. And also, when you're starting to talk about coding, it's actually web development already. So kasi it's different. Web design and web development, although sounds very similar, web development actually goes through like coding and really going into, that kind of stuff. Like literally if you're going to do web development, you can basically do anything and everything you want in the web design, right? Or in a website rather. But in web design, it's usually just us using editors and themes to come up with something nice and fancy. So ganun siya. Yeah, I think that's how I see it. Wow, we have a bunch of questions. We'll do how long do we have? Okay, we have 10 minutes. Sige, we'll try to answer mga few more questions. Um Ayan, we have one from Jonna Ashley Sanchez. What can you advise po sa mga currently working student who tries to pursue freelancing?
Nako, mahirap siya. Kasi I still like having a degree din. Kasi I don't know. I think for me it's also something that helped me then to where I am now. Where it doesn't necessarily yun talaga yung gawin mo. It depends kasi girl. I think I remember this person, like she was also commenting to your page, and I think it depends on your priorities. If you're really like you don't really have to worry about like siguro like your family's opinions, ganon, or kasi kung ano ba talaga yung gusto mo and what do you think is could help you provide for your family or provide for you help you like so kasi working student ka na, diba? So you're working and then you're learning pa, you're into school, so that's very heavy ha. I don't know how you're going to do it, but so it's gonna be handful, and I think you need to to think about it really talaga kung ano yung gusto mo i-pursue.
Yeah, that's true. And to also add, I think it's important to also check like what's the reason why you want to pursue freelancing? Is it just because you want to earn 100K a month? Is it just because all about the money? Kasi there are often times I don't really suggest for people to go into freelancing if you're like 100% desperate, like how I did. If you go in a place of desperation and you're trying to serve other people, because freelancing is all about serving your clients. And once you start to feel like you're starting to serve your clients in a place of desperation, it's really going to manifest in your emails, the work that you do, everything else. And that happened to me. That's why I'm saying that if you really wish to pursue freelancing, try to find a deeper meaning and don't make the money at least ba parang like number one motivation. You can probably say, how can I help my client and at the same time earn money from it? That's okay because then you're putting the money as the second priority. But if you're going to say, I want to pursue freelance because I want to get 100K, like that's not the best place that you might want to consider. So yun lang. And then that's also one thing that I would like to say. If you're interested in enrolling to CRA, try not, like do not use CRA just because you want to earn money. Try to use CRA because you know that you have something to offer to people. Even if right now you don't really know what that is, you just feel like you are in a place of serving rather than in a place of taking, right? So one thing to consider lang. There's that. And then let's see here. We have one from J. Andrew Prangan. Do you think everyone can make money with their own interests? Do you recommend more popular niches like graphic design or web design?
I mean, uh, okay. The reason why we need to find the perfect niche din kasi not everything, not all line of business are, like malaki yung demand niya or something. So I would say no. For example, what if your interest is like knitting or something? So you need to check then in the is something in demand. So yeah, for me, you have to check then if it's on demand pa.
Yeah, I think also in freelancing kasi it's more likely that you are going to be offering a service that is digital. So, one of the questions in module 1 that I always ask is like, what are the things that you like to do? And then you're going to say, I like to walk down the beach. So, is walking down the beach something that you can monetize? Of course not. So, you have to also think about it that way. Not in all cases, there are certain rules that you also need to follow. Like, for example, is your interest something that can be translated to a digital skill? If it's a yes, then you're more likely to be succeeding on that area. There. Let's say, when is the next enrollment for CRA? We don't know yet. Sorry. So the most current one is going to be on March 1. And then after March 1, we don't know yet. I have my personal plans. So I can't really say for sure yet when is the next one. We have there. Okay. So there's one that I cannot answer. So I think this is usually addressed to you as a CRA mentee. So I did not program you to answer anything good about CRA. So there's a question that says, what are the things that we need to expect once we enroll to CRA though?
Go talaga, medyo. Um, you're gonna experience siguro mga points of breakdowns kasi mapapaisip ka talaga and you will understand why it was very why you had to go through that stage kasi in the next stages of the magko-connect sila lahat as in. So you're gonna expect na mapapaisip ka, makakontemplate ka sa life mo, kung ano yung gusto mo, and ano diba, by experience din kung you have to anticipate kung paano ka-helpful yung community. And this is no joke, ha? As in CRA, in CRA community, like you're gonna build relationships talaga in the community. So expect that as well, that a lot of people will welcome you. Expect as well na mapaparealize, marami kang aha moments, mapaparealize ka na hindi lang pala ikaw yung it's not, hindi lang ikaw yung may freelancing about career. So you're gonna, expect na you'll have a one whole 4,000 plus, kung siguro them, no?
Yeah,
Community of,
4,000.
men for you.
Yeah, that's true. I would also like to say now I think as the person who created CRA, one of the things that you would want to expect when you enroll is that it's not really going to be easy. I'd like to repeat that over and over again because I don't want people to just go into CRA and like magic. Like, hey, I'm already enrolled. Tomorrow I'm going to get 100K. Like, it's really not that. What CRA provides for you is the resources that you need in order to get to 100K. But unless you take action and you devour, digest, and follow the modules religiously, then it's really not going to happen, right? So you have to trust the process, have faith, and then, yeah, because it's not really going to be easy. A lot of people would say that freelancing is easy kasi nga, it's a low barrier of entry. Anyone can do it, right? That's why we also have a finish line, kind of, in CRA, wherein you have to reach 100K a month consistently. And that's the time when you can say, like, okay, I was actually able to make it. And then once you reach 100K, then a lot of other opportunities are going to open your doors. So, yun lang. When you want to think about CRA, think about it as a place wherein you're going to get guidance, you're going to get the resources that you need, but unless you take action, it's really not going to happen. So, there, I think that okay, so we're going to answer one last question before we end, no? Because we have another one who is an architect here who has a question. Dami nila today. Hi, architect people. So we have one from Ayla. She said, upon jumping into graphic design, are you not missing the experience in architecture? Or maybe a bit worried that you're not that up to date on archi matters and experience anymore? How do you upskill this profession while on graphic design? Ja! Promise you!
Yes.
Sige, go
Ay,
girl!
yeah, bakit mo tinanong? Joke. Hindi, honestly, Demi knows this, and there came to a point in talaga, I posted about it in CRA group, di ba, Dem? So I was like, guys, namimiss para ano ba to? What should I do? Like, I'm already falling in love in graphic design, ganun. Pero, namimiss ko pa rin yung archi. Now, I think I reminded myself that where I started to start freelancing as a, with graphic design, web design as my niche. Kasi, of course, I was worried. I was worried na para a lot of it, I think outdated na ako. Like, I don't know the latest trends in architecture and stuff like that. But I think the good thing, again, repeating with web design kasi, it touches about user experience. So parang somehow nga na-apply ko yung principles in architecture sa web design. Kasi parang, yun, like designing the building lang. I was designing the page, and yun, it somehow kasi may connection sila. So, thankful lang nila ko sa island din yung niche. Although you might think that parang super malayo siya, but actually it's not. Kasi they have like a common denominator, which is user design, di ba? Tapos, ano she say? I'm worried, pero good thing lang din kasi I have a group chat with my archi friends. What's up, KKK family? Nag-shout out na ako. Yun, I have a group chat with my archi friends. So somehow, nakakapag-brainstorm naman din kami about architecture, ano yung mga latest trends, mga problems or like yun. Kasi like super updated pa rin ako sa architecture but somehow hindi ko rin talaga naman talaga siya super namimiss kasi nga yun, I still touch on the archi matter something. And what else did she ask? How do you upskill this professional while on graphic design? I hindi talaga girl, parang like what Demi said, I place it at the back burner. I know naman din someday I'm going to touch architecture din naman. So, hindi ko sila pinagsabay kasi masama yan.
Yeah. I think I would also agree, no? Like if you there are a bunch of people that tend to spread themselves thin, like they want to focus on archi and then also freelance, and then like who knows, there are architectures that are doing freelancing and then also doing online selling at the side and also doing MLM and like just a bunch of stuff all together. So I think it's super important to find that focus. And I would agree then if you're starting to have doubts and you feel like you're torn, you just have to remember, why are you in your current path? So why are you in freelancing? Why did you pursue this? So that was a really good one. Okay, so I think that's the end for the interview, guys. Nish, thank you so much. I know that I know that we will have more chicas in the future, and I'm not going to become very emotional. Especially that I'm speaking in English, it's so awkward. May nagbisaya kay Mokaira, but yeah, there's that. And then again, nosebleed. I'm super happy about your success, and I'm also very glad that even if you said earlier na you're a little bit skeptical about online courses, not only did you take my course, but in your next endeavor, you chose to pick Bo as one of your mentors. So Bo, by the way, guys, is my freelance fiance. Na-combine na freelance. Yeah, he's my fiance and he has a course about creating online courses. So I'm super honored that you chose him as one of your mentors. So thank you so much. And then, I'm always one message away if you need any help. So, starring masyado si Ayla. Ayla, hide ka muna namin, ha? Nakalimutan natin, girl. Sorry po. There. So, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much. Again, Nisha's link is in the comment section. All of her links are there if you want to reach out to her and ask more questions if you need any. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Again, Nisha, thank you so much for being here. Do you have any final words? So wala na final words. Okay. Silence is the final word. Sige. Alright, so thank you so much, guys.
Yes, guys.
Bye. I'll see you in the next video.